again, I respect his position. Later on, history will judge. No, history will judge.
Yes, history will judge. But at the same time, if you say, Kong Erin, that the legal remedy for, let's say, erring court justices would be impeachment, paano naman kung ang nagkakamali yung mga members of the Senate?
Well, members of the Senate that they are not included in the people that could be impeached. Ang remedy sa erring senators is don't vote for them in the coming elections.
I see. So we are stuck with the current set of senators for the time being.
Well, there's an election in 2028.
Kiko, what do you think? Given this archiving, you think it's already dead? And then, the derailment process of having that accountability and transparency will never happen again? Or will take so much time for this to happen? Or meron ka pa ring pag-asa na mariresolve ito?
Ang tingin ko po kung mananaig po yung existing interpretation doon sa July 25 ruling, wala po akong siguro kailangan pa rin pag-aralan siya, pero sa mga napakikinggan ko po na analysis, very unrealistic na po magsimula ng isang impeachment laban sa vice presidente, mga impeachable officials. Very, very exacting po yung mga requirements na ito. So, ang hope talaga po natin ay pag na-consider yung motions, pag tiningnan yung motions for reconsideration, mabigang linaw yung ibang conditions dito, and hope sana matanggal yung iba. Like, again po, correct me if I'm wrong, no? Pero yung isang condition doon, yung binanggit na you can only be impeached for things that you do while in office. Pagkakaintindi ko that parang there's a classic mental exercise ata na paano kung yung presidente parang nag-espionage siya bago maging presidente. Ibig sabihin ba ay hindi natin siya ma-impeach kapag presidente na siya dahil hindi niya ginawa yun while in office. So, I think in terms of accountability for VP Sara Duterte, ultimately, tama rin naman yung punto, no? Parang kung tatakbo nga siya sa 2028, may pagkakataon tayo na mag-exact ng accountability doon, na matalo siya doon sa election niya. And I think I've said that impeachment against VP Sara is politically difficult pero morally necessary, no? Kasi malakas nga talaga si VP Sara Duterte at nakita natin noong 2025 na lalong na-consolidate yung boto ng mga Duterte candidates, partially because meron ngang floating impeachment issue habang ginagawa yung election, di ba? And so, if we find a way na matuloy yung impeachment sa kanya and makonvict nga siya sa Senado, hindi na siya pwedeng tumakbo sa 2028, edi kung sino man yung i-endorse niya, siya pa rin yung lamang eh. So, parang hindi naman nakakatulong sa atin yung impeachment kay VP Sara electorally, di ba? Bakit natin to ginagawa? Kasi malala yung ginawa niya, di ba? Yung grave threats, yung corruption sa DepEd in the middle of an education crisis, parang corruption sa PhilHealth in the middle of the pandemic, di ba? Parang yun yung reasons kung bakit kailangan natin din ng impeachment to say na extraordinarily problematic, extraordinarily bad yung ginawa niya. But to say, is it dead na ngayong na-archive, ngayong may ganitong decision? Yung archiving, ano ba talaga ibig sabihin nun? We will have to figure that out. And ako, more importantly, final na ba talaga yung bagong proseso ng impeachment na nilabas yung July 25? I think that's the only time when we can say kung buhay o patay na ba talaga itong accountability mechanism natin.
I think maganda yung pagkasabi ni Kong Erin na yung pagka-archive nasa vault lang na pwede pang mabukas, but it's kind of like medyo hindi pa nabaon pero it's just there na pwedeng buhayin.
I guess, although just to comment po, no, parang pag-archive din yung ginawa sa unang 3 impeachment complaints, di ba? And sa pagkakaintindi ko, yung interpretation ng Supreme Court dito ay effectively dismissed.
Mm-hmm.
So, yun din ba ang ibig sabihin, ang magiging interpretation kapag in-archive yung Senado? Pag, let's say, nabuhay siya dahil sa motion for reconsideration, pero dahil... So, I really think, the ball is very much sa Supreme Court na sana mabigyan nila ng linaw yung July 25 decision nila. Sobrang haba, pero hindi pa rin malinaw for whatever reason. And sana ma-reconsider nga nila yung ibang conditions po dito.
But some people are saying that... you just have to wait for February 6, 2026 and then just refile. Can we not just wait and then tama na to para let's not waste additional or unnecessary resources towards this particular impeachment trial?
Well, I think to be fair, yung Senate and lower house, if they feel that there are other pressing matters of legislation to take care of, in a way, parang they're free to do that. Kasi nga, ang tingin ko po, the ball is on the Supreme Court currently. Ano yung magiging decision nila sa motion for reconsideration nila? And yun po, yung wait for February 6, again, kailangan po nating makita ano na yung final na itsura ng impeachment process para makapagsabi tayo kung may saysay pa rin ba na mag-file sa February 6. Kasi kung sobrang kitid ang magiging daan for impeachment, then baka we have to put focus na nga our efforts on the electoral strategy. But we don't know. Depende po sa magiging itsura ng final decision after the motion for reconsideration.
Fred, just to add, no, I think what we should also be clear here is that what the Supreme Court is making it difficult is the fast track mode. No, yung 1/3 na automatic trial will forthwith proceed. Yun yung pinahihirapan nila. Ngayon, yun nga, kailangan nilang balikan ano ba yung purpose ng ating framers kung bakit nila nilagay yung fast track mode, no? Hiwalay yan sa regular process kung saan an impeachment complaint that is endorsed by a member of the House that should be filed and referred to the Committee on Justice. Mukhang yung you would say the requirements there has not yet been changed significantly, no? So that route is
Still there.
still open.
Yes.
They have not touched that. They just said that parang yung Francisco doctrine is still in play. What happened here is that they considered that the three impeachments, the three complaints that were filed earlier than the fourth, effectively dismissed the fourth complaint. So wala tayong problema, I think, sa initiation. Yung regular process. Yung problema talaga ay yung fast track mode. Kung saan gustong ibahin ng Korte Suprema yung ating saligang batas tungkol dito. And this is I think where the crux of the problem is.
Yes, some former justices have already expounded on this, yung doctrine of operative facts, na i-apply mo na lang what was Francisco already in place, or if you're going to change it, apply it prospectively. Diba? Hindi ba dapat ganun ang nangyari, Kong Erin? And given that basic doctrine or basic principle, mali ba talaga yung Supreme Court?
Well, ako, tingin ko, it is unfair now to the citizens who initiated the complaint or to the House of Representatives that you are changing the rules in the middle of the game. O mas mabuti dapat kung noon pa alam na natin. And this is the reason why after the Francisco doctrine, every impeachment complaint that came after followed, no? The process on initiation. Kaya lugi yung taong bayan dito.
Hindi kaya fine, pwede pa naman, hindi pa patay. Pero practically parang pinahirapan tayo eh. Pinahirapan tayo meaning the people holding public officials accountable. No? It's not really condemning already. It's just, giving us the opportunity to find a person guilty or not guilty. Yes. Pero with this current set of conditions and rules that were, like you said, Kong Erin, changed in the middle of the game, don't you think the accountability process has been made more difficult?
Yes, I agree. It has made it more difficult and it diminished yung usapin ng accountability para habulin yung mga matataas ng pisyal, no? Ito nga yung yung avenue ng mga mamamayan para makita na meron naman katarungan, no? Dito sa ating bansa laban sa mga matataas na opisyal ng ating bansa. So kung matanggal pa 'yon, we have to standards of justice. And ang kailangan malaman, itong proseso ng impeachment ay para tanggalin lang sa pwesto ang isang mataas na opisyales. Hindi ito para sabihin guilty siya na ginawa niya yung krimen tapos diretso bilangguan. Hindi, iba pa po proseso 'yan.
Yes.
Kaya para sa akin, talagang pinapahirapan ngayon yung ating mga mamamayan na humahanap ng katarungan, no, o pananagutan laban sa mga nasa pwesto.
Ikaw, Kiko, last few questions before we go to our media guest, no? If you're, let's say, you have not developed any official position from your group, but, perhaps if people your age will now ask, what are we going to do now, given this current situation of seeming disagreements among all the halls of power? Ano ba dapat ginagawa nila?
Well, again, I think po, definitely right now, kailangan nating pag-aralan yung July 25 decision. Kailangan nating antayin kung ano yung magiging resulta ng motion for reconsideration, ano yung magiging final na framework natin sa impeachment. Kung lalabas nga po na bagamat sobrang hirap na yung fast track mode or baka pwede nating i-pursue yung ibang avenues for impeachment, 'di ba? Yung pag-file ng complaint, tatalakayin sa House Committee on Justice and everything. But yun po, I think it's very hard to say ito yung gagawin natin with concretely habang yun napakalabo pa rin ng rules kung babaguhin pa rin to. Gayunpaman, I think kung ang nararamdaman po natin ay binigo po tayo ng lahat ng mga institusyon natin. Binigo tayo ng Senado, binigo tayo ng Korte Suprema. And to an extent, even ako personally, even I feel the House could have done a better job, could have demonstrated more urgency with yung impeachment complaint na inihain namin. Or if not, at least, parang did a better job protecting their moral authority to be the prosecutors of impeachment, and maybe not have pursued all of these excesses sa budget natin. Although sangkot din yung Senado dyan, syempre. I think kung nararamdaman po natin na bigo po tayo sa mga institusyon natin, karapatan din po nating ihayag yan. No? Syempre, what we call for sa Tindig is peaceful resistance, civil disobedience, but within the framework of the 1987 Constitution. Pero sa tingin ko, kung yun yung damdamin ng mga tao, dapat marinig po yan ng mga nasa poder at yung parang dapat marinig po natin yan among ourselves. No? Parang mag-gets natin na kung galit tayo, oo, tama, galit tayo, pero hindi tayo crazy. Talagang may bagulong nangyayari ngayon.
So for the time being, study muna, wait lang muna, but at the same time, already try to become more aware what's really happening before you take on whatever activities you want to do within the framework of the Constitution.
Yun po, parang pag-aralan, but also, kung meron po kayong malakas na nararamdaman ngayon, find ways to express that. No? Parang be involved in an organization. Siyempre, nandyan yung Tindig, pero marami pang ibang mga organizations po na may malakas na paninindigan tungkol sa pagpapanagot sa mga malalakas na opisyal. So, yun, find that community, find that movement to, and then when the time comes na, okay, ito na yung mga patakaran, ito na yung gagawin natin for impeachment, then we'll be able to tell that story a lot better kung bakit sobrang halaga na ma-impeach ang isang opisyal who is involved in the things that VP Sara Duterte is accused of being involved in.
One last question, Kong Erina. Medyo hypothetical nga lang. I know what you will do or what you will think if you were part of the House now or part of the prosecution panel. I think I can also predict what you will think and act if you were part of the Senate or even if you are part of the Supreme Court. Ang tanong ko sa iyo, sir, what if you are part of the defense team or you are an advisor of VP Sara? What would you do? What would you say?
Well, I have nothing to say at this point because the impeachment has stopped. No, so I'll just sit down and just prepare for whatever decision the Supreme Court will make or whatever the House will do come maybe February 6. No, so ganun na lang eh. I will not I was asked to comment. I will comment. No, I will reiterate the positions or the arguments of the majority or the 13 justices in my favor. I will dispute the facts. No, that the House through the Solicitor General had raised, and basically I will do that, and that's it. No.
But would you advise her that you need this para there is no cloud of doubt given that Ma'am BP, mananalo naman tayo sa dulo eh. Based on that political setup of a political trial.
Well, I think si VP Sara had already mentioned she's looking forward to the impeachment complaint. So if she directs her lawyers, hindi, tuloy natin. Wala naman akong kasalanan eh. No? Why not? No, why not? Ang panawagan ko, with all due respect to the Supreme Court, no, as soon as the comments of VP Sara is submitted to the court, no, I hope that they will come out with their decision the soonest possible time. Kasi baka mamaya ang lalabas niyan maghihintay tayo, wala pang decision sa final ng Korte Suprema sa motion for reconsideration, umabot na tayo ng February.
Yeah.
So what will happen now? Will the 7 requirements of the Supreme Court be operative?
Still apply.
Will they apply? Dahil wala pang decision sa MR, we wouldn't know.
Yes.
Malay ba rin natin, Fred, just taking a step back, baka yun yung rin ang magiging escape hatch ng Supreme Court.
Correct. Yeah.
No? 'Di ba? Hindi ako magdedesisyon na lang sa motion for reconsideration. Leave it hanging, no? Para hindi na magkagulo, and let's let another impeachment complaint file. Now the question will be, will the House do it the fast track again? Ako, I would like the House to do the fast track to challenge the decision of the Supreme Court. So I with all due respect, again, I'm not predicting how the Supreme Court will move with regard to the motion for reconsideration, but these are several options that they may take.
Wow. Seems like today is a good time or a difficult time to be a lawyer or a law student, especially now that we have these questions on Constitution. It's nice to have oral arguments also para bariling talaga natin. No? But before the oral arguments, maybe we can have some oral questions from our media guest.